Now the water line goes to about where that porch is, on this side of it about a foot or two, and I had to dig it by hand all underneath the trailer. And there is a ditch through there. You'll see it after the goats clear all that out. And there's that underpinning I was telling you. That's old billboard tarp, and it lasted a long doggone time, but I've got to run the rest of that tin because we got it all. I just got to buy a couple boards and run it the rest of the way down through there and pull the rest of that skirting, whatever it is, off of it. But anyway, had to run it right here, and then wound up renting a, what do you call it? Ditch witch. I mean, I said it earlier. And ditch witch worked so far. If I'm right, I ran it through here. Now, don't get me wrong, I could have been wrong on a bunch of stuff here. I ran it down through here about 3 foot from the ditch, 2 to 3 foot. And we went down here. This was an interesting one. I had to stop it. Dog pooped in the yard. Had to stop it right here at the edge of the bank. But then I drove it down there. Now, remind you, I just stopped it here. I did not go down to this bank with it. There ain't no way it would have went up and down this bank, so I don't know what the heck I was thinking. Maybe I thought it would. And right down here, I started where that white pipe was. And over to the right, to where you see the end of the grass there, or end of the tree line right here, right there, it got jammed. Called back the place I rented it from and told them, I said, this thing's stuck in the ground, it won't come out. So they sent one of their guys up, and all they do is hook a chain to it and pull it out. I was like, heck, I could have done that, but it ain't my equipment, so I didn't want to break it. So I waited all day, so they gave me another day on the rental. That thing's a piece of junk. Sent it back. I was like, I'm done. Because it just kept on jamming. It wouldn't dig. It was trying to dig through rock. I mean, we got a bunch of rock here. It did dig through a piece of pipe, old junk culvert thing that cut through pretty easy. And wound up renting a track hoe. Definitely worth renting. The track hoe is probably the best versatile machine you can actually use around the homestead, I think anyways. Unless you got cattle, you need a tractor, because it's just too slow to do what you need. But now we're going to go on down here and show you the rest of it, how far I actually had to go, and rent a track hoe on that bank back there. I'll get to that story here in a little bit, but let's go on down here and I'll show you how far I had to run it. Now this is just down here. This ain't up my place. We come to it later on. So then it comes right there where the edge of the sunlight is and comes straight down the hill, and then we cross over to the road where this white pipe is over here on the left. Remind you, I'm just starting to learn a track hoe at this point. You know, this is the first one I ever rented, first one I ever drove or operated. So from that white pipe, I crossed the road here. I think I put it in a piece, yeah I did. I put it in a piece of 2.5 inch metal pipe and covered it with sand when I did cross the road. And then we ran it all the way down past that garage barn right there. And now this was the worst part right here to do of the water line. I had a track hoe at this point, and I done decided to start up here on top. For some reason, I didn't put the track hoe on top where it was flat. I started down here and ran track hoe as far, you know, and put down the blade, and first time running a track hoe. And I got a big old bucket of, might as well say, muddy, I don't know what, but it was overloaded. I mean, it was left-hand side, right-hand side of that bucket. It was just everywhere, and it was sticky. I started bringing that thing over here to the right here, and the whole track hoe started tipping. Weighed way too much. I mean, it was bad. Somehow, I hit that control to the left, and it was tipped up and just kind of bouncing itself, and the machine had just enough power to push that thing back over to the left right there and level it back up. So I dropped that bucket and got a smaller bite. But that was a little tightening, if you know what I mean. That's just a little much right there on your first stroll on a track hoe anyways. And then I came down here, what are you doing, Curie? Look at this goofy dog. All right, let's go play in the mud. But then I came right down here, and there is a water line that crosses, that runs up the ditch. And that's what I had to contend with, was the neighbor's water line. So had to dig it by hand. I dug as close as I thought I needed to, because they said it was in the center of the ditch. So that's what I did. Dug it with the track hoe and then dug the rest by hand. I put it in a 2-inch pipe, and I crossed the road over here to where that white pipe's leaning over there. That's where my other side is of the pipe. And then I dug the rest with a track hoe. And on down there by the barn, Dad wanted to try to help, and he cut my pipe by 1 inch too short while I was running the track hoe, which I didn't ask for the help, but he cut it too short, so it cost me another, I think it was $68 for another coupling to actually connect that back together. So I had to go down there and get it. I'm like, you know, just leave me alone. I'm doing it good by myself. You know what I mean? But it ain't leaked. So there's 2 couplings and a 1 foot chunk of pipe down there holding that together. And I know the bank don't look that steep, but it is pretty good. And then we ran it down through here. That piece of pipe is a gas line crossing, oil line, salt line, something crossing the road right there. Now remind you, over here on the right hand side where the ditch is, there was already a water line ran to the neighbor's house up there that ain't there no more. So now we're gonna go on down here to the point that you can't see no more where the sunshine is and show you the rest of it. And then the more fun part comes right through here, because it got a little bit tougher. Now, not really just digging underneath this thing, but I dug it to the left right here, underneath that guide wire, which wasn't too bad. And then I drove it on down here, and as full of you hear squeaking, I'm like, it's floating down the driveway, I guess. And right in here, it wasn't too bad. I was staying away from the road. But now, the whole time that this is going on, we're coming to neighbor 2 right here, but neighbor 1 kept on coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and which was up there by our place, and I mean, kept on going in and out. And I mean, I'm like, what the heck? I had to keep on moving the track out of the road. I had to keep the dirt out of the road far enough to get a vehicle through, which really sucked. And then, right here, when I stopped this thing, I hit bedrock. Now, that was fun. I spent a while right here chiseling away with the bucket at the bedrock. And it was shale, it was sandstone or something, I don't know. And then, guess what? We finally find the water. So they tapped us in right here, and that was pretty deep right there to tap in. I forgot how far down, but actually it went 4 foot in one area, but I think that was actually 3 foot down or something right there. Man. But got that ran all the way up through there, had to buy the regulator. I think a $300 and some tap is what they charged us to put it on. And then I had to buy the regulator the regulator up at our place, had to buy it. But there's the water line part. I guess follow along for the next part. Y'all enjoy, have a good day. We will see you on the next one.